Hello, everyone. This is round 4 of the 2020 Coronament. I have found myself on board 3 after a disappointing loss in round 3, but we'll look to climb our way back up. There is still a small glimmer of hope, I think. We had a lot of upsets in the last round, and it really shook up the pairings and the matchups. So if I have another, well, if this round is promising, including a win for me, uh, we might see ourselves in the running for maybe a tournament win. But we'll see. It will be difficult. Um, I don't have much prep to go off of for Alex. We've mostly played over the board. In our last rapid game online was about 2 years ago. So we had a few games 2 years ago, and he played E4 and D4 in both. So I have no idea what he's going to play. Um, for example, in the last game, I think he played knight c3 and f4, and then in a different game it was d4 c5, and then he played c4. So, and he hasn't played those over the board when I played him. So I have nothing to go off of. So we're just going to play what we normally play, and hopefully we're a little bit more coherent. I don't know. I feel like I was very scatterbrained in my last round match. I didn't feel very good about it from the start. Um, but I played today. I raised my tactics rating up to 2350. Drew a 2200. So I'm feeling a lot better. Um, yeah, it was just a perfect storm of disastrous circumstances the other day. So he's played B3. I was expecting D4, where I can just go into a normal con. Whenever I see B3, I typically always play just D5 straight away from the get go. Um, I may start with knight c6 here. I don't know how I feel about that. I really like d5 just straight away. But I'm also kind of feeling, maybe I want to be a little bit safer. I'm not sure. This is tough. Let's do this. I have a feeling that if I play a boring ass hedgehog, I have a feeling that he's going to attack me at a poor time, and I'm going to counterattack. So we're just going to play d6 when I would normally play d5 here. Um, okay. I like this for me now. This knight is very weak. I don't know that I can do anything about it yet. Okay. Yeah, I don't think I can do anything about it yet. Now I wish this pawn was back here, though. Uh, okay, so well, let's get my pieces developed now. I think knight f6 seems to be the play. Let's go. Yeah, let's do this. This looks fine. Hmm. And this is a weakness that I'll have to take advantage of that much later in the game. I don't think there's really going to be anything. He has plenty of moves to defend this. I mean, the knight back, queen d3, bishop d2. He can adequately defend that, and I don't think it'll be too much of an issue for him. Plus, this is his only weakness. I don't have another weakness that I can take advantage of, so I don't think there's anything that I can do there. Let's just play bishop e7 and also get myself castled. Um, I'm not sure if my mic picked that up. If you hear elephants in the background, it's my cats fighting. And while we're staying up on time, I'm not getting absolutely blasted on that front like I did against Flippy last round. So that's promising. Just a modest bishop e2, so I'm not really worried about anything. I feel like I can safely castle here, just continue improving my position. He's not made any huge mistakes except for this b3 move, so I'm just going to constantly keep an eye on this on every single move and see if he voluntarily undefends anything else. So like if he plays like an f4 here or something, I may have a tactic. There might be some d5 stuff, but I'm not sure. That remains to be seen. I think I want to put my I want to connect my knights and make them a little superfluous intentionally because I feel like this bishop is probably going here. I want a little bit of extra support for my f6 knight, and I also really, I mean, if I'm going to play d6, I should probably be fianchettoing my bishop for a true hedgehog structure. So we will do that. That's why I didn't develop the knight earlier with knight c6 before I'd moved the d pawn. So yeah, I do this every opening. You know, I'm not really calculating, but I'm absolutely planning ahead, and I'm trying to figure out where every single one of my pieces should go. Development and fluidity is the focus. You know, with a little bit of sprinkle of the consideration of imbalances. You know, there are some imbalances that will start to crop up in the opening. Some openings there isn't. Some openings there's a lot of imbalances. Most of them it's just a little bit of sprinkle here and there. So if he weakens his dark squares in a key area of the board, maybe I think that, you know, I want to try to trade off his dark squared bishop for something other than my dark squared bishop. So little things like that to try to take advantages of differences in the position. So and you might have noticed that I'm not really ever playing e5 here. I don't want to give up my d5 square like that. That's just not good chess. Okay, I don't know what this move is for, so I don't see anything wrong with just continuing with what we're doing. That move doesn't make any sense to me either. I think the knight was fine there. Now I can actually play b5 without having to move my queen. But no, I'm going to move my queen first. Yeah, let's go queen c7. Seems reasonable. Continuing to improve our position, and yeah, like I said, I want him to attack me. I want him to attack me in my perfect structure, and I want him to make the mistake. It's really hard to attack into this, and I'll play b5. I think I don't think I'll stick with b6. Yeah, now I wonder if I wish there was some way for me to make that bishop move, but I'm not sure if there is. Okay. And I have 3 things guarding over this. He only has 2, so this is very useful. Let's go here. I think everything's fine. Continue developing, and he's reasonably developed too. It's not the worst, it's not the best. His bishops could certainly be better. His pawn structure could be better, so I think I'm definitely slightly better here. And especially once this guy gets out here, I'm going to be very satisfied. And my knight can go to c5, so this is going to look really, really nice in a second here. Now, one thing I do want to be careful of, after bishop here and bishop d3 and knight c5, where he lets me take this bishop, I don't know if I like taking that and giving him the center pawn, back, and then opening up a file against my queen. So that's actually probably a scenario that could happen very soon, where I'll forego taking away the bishop pair from him, and I'll just try to get it at a later date, hopefully today, but a later move, I suppose. Next move, yeah, bishop b7. I'll want to play d5 at some point. There's really no hurry. If I played it earlier, it could have been fine earlier. I'm sure if we look at the analysis, at the end of the game, d5 could have been played earlier. But for me, I'm more comfortable when I'm in positions like this where there's really no rush to play d5. It's not like he can stop me. He's never really going to move that c3 knight and push his pawn to c4 and, you know, put a battery on the d file. Like, it's very hard to get a Murawski bind out of this position where you have a couple of pawn moves that were just, you know, he didn't need to play these pawn moves and it wasted time. Now maybe instead of those pawn moves, you know, maybe he does move his knight somewhere, I'm not sure where, and get a c4 in. I don't know. I don't know if that really could have worked with the line that we played. I did play knight f6 reasonably early. If he moves his knight, I'm taking this pawn, so he has to guard it with something else. Not sure. Not sure what that would look like. But I think that's my point. that there's not really a rush to play d5 because it's not like he's ever going to move the c3 knight and do all those things to get a bind with e4 and c4 stopping me from pushing this pawn. So I'm not too worried about it. I'll just let my pieces get developed first and then go for my pawn break. It also really helps that, oh yeah, he didn't want me to do that. I saw that like maybe a second before he made that move. That's funny. Okay, so we'll continue with this. And I didn't play b5 to even do that, but I might have done it. After I saw it, yeah, I might have done it for sure. Okay. Bishop d3, knight c5, rook e1, and I don't really know if I can ever win that pawn. But I can keep pressure. I can absolutely keep pressure on it. And after bishop d3, that might be my cue to play d5. I'm not sure. I don't know. No, that's his, no. If he does go bishop d3, I think I want to go knight e5. I want to stop this pawn, and I want to try to clog up these two diagonals. If he goes bishop d3 and I play d5, and he takes, these two bishops against my king side are not fun to deal with. It could be a move that the computer would recommend, and they would find a way to deal with it, but I don't feel comfortable with that, and I doubt that the computer would recommend that. I think knight e5 is a perfectly fine move. Probably after bishop d3, I should move a rook. In past positions when I've played knight e5, it's not been the best move. So maybe I will do that. Maybe I'll learn from my my inaccuracies and play a rook move instead. But yeah, I couldn't have gotten a better position out of this. I mean, this is just fantastic. Short of having a ton of material, I was allowed to do everything that I wanted to as the black pieces, which really is the point when people say that moves like h3 and b3, you know, and knight f3, when people say that these are bad moves, they're not game losing, but when you allow your opponent just to do whatever they want, yeah, you probably shouldn't do that. Okay, I'm gonna be stupid here and not learn from my mistakes. I'm gonna go here. I don't know. I had a different feeling after I looked at this position, and I didn't want him. I was so afraid of the bishops that I didn't want him to even pawn sacrifice. That's how afraid I am of those bishops. So we'll just make this bishop stupid and this bishop stupid, and maybe ours can go to c5. It looks pretty nice there, and we can continue putting pressure on this. Oh, yeah, he can do that. He could have done that in other lines too, where these bishops are a little bit more open. So I think I'm happy with where I'm at right now. Okay. And I always have this to guard this, so I don't have anything to worry about on that front. My knight can go to f4 at some point. That would be really nice. If he goes like queen g3, which I think he might, I can weasel my knight into f4. I'd be very happy about that. Let's go rook c8. And we are just fantastically up on time, so I'm very happy about this. And queen f3 strikes me as maybe a little bit of an impatient move. This isn't an objective observation whatsoever. But, if I start seeing things like g4, then I'm going to have questions about his patience, and maybe he's already frustrated at the hedgehog. It really is difficult to attack. He doesn't really have a pawn move that he wants to make, and my mouse was hovering over this pawn because I was going to say he doesn't want to move that pawn. So I have a little knight maneuver here now because that pawn is moved. And I can waste 3 moves to do that because why not? Everything's locked up. Um, it's very interesting. Okay. I might do that. I would really like it on F4. That's the dream square, but there's no I mean I'm not doing that. I could play G6 and force it in there, but G6 knight H5 he just goes G3 and he says, what are you doing? So, this does stop my bishop from going there, but it gives me a new square. So I think I do want to do that. I think knight D7. As weird as that might look. It's a very strong knight. Let's go for it. And hopefully I'll be talking about at the end of the game how I reaped the benefits of the closed position, where I closed down his bishops with the knight e5 move, blocking these in, affording me the time to make 3 knight moves in the middle game and get him to a square all the way across the board. This was the idea, but I mean we'll see. It also lets me play f6 and just lock down my position. It also lets me play f5. And this is a very, very attractive move. I like that move a lot. Sorry, what does that move do? Does he want to play c4 at some point? He won't have the time to ever do that. Even if he could move this here now, I just go knight b6 and I stop c4. Okay, so knight b6 or f5. I can wait on f5. He can't stop me from playing f5. Even if he goes g4, it doesn't stop me from playing f5. He can't stop me from doing this either. But f5 is very committal. If I go f5, I can't move that pawn backwards. So, and this isn't exactly a weakness. I would really just be playing f5 so that I can go f4. And I don't know how much I like that even. I really don't. All my pieces are on the queen side. So I'm just going to go knight b6. Oh, maybe he moved the rook there so he could go here after the knight c4, but then I take this and he could have moved the rook to a better square. I don't understand that move at all. And I really like this knight. I think on knight c4 he has to take it. I don't think there's an alternative. And then after he does take it, then I can go forward with a5 and things like that. This is funny. This is exactly what we talked about. Okay, so we're going to take that. This is exactly what we talked about. So this is very funny. So now I'm up a piece. He's gotten a bit impatient. I say a bit. I think he's gotten very impatient. This was not the one that I thought he would go for. I guess it was the only sacrifice he could have made in this position. But I thought he would make the sacrifice much later. I expected some kind of pawn sacrifice on the king side after some pawn pushes or some g6 stuff. Who knows? But that's what I expected. I didn't expect this. So I think queen c6 pretty much covers my situation. Hits the knight, hits the pawn. Yeah, I think that just about covers it. Oh, but he has knight there. Okay. So queen c4 then would be the alternative. And then that takes the square away from my knight, unfortunately, but I think that's okay. Yeah, I like queen c4. Stops him from playing c4. Queen c6 does not do that. Queen b8 is another move, but I don't like that as much. Yeah, I don't like that as much at all. Queen b8, I should have time for stuff like this, but I feel like it's not as good. Strange. Even I'm only looking at queen b8 because it guards this. But I really do fear my queen's out of the game at that point. So we're going to go queen here. On queen d3, I just take the e-pawn, I think. Yeah, it looks good to me. I'm not hanging any forks, thank goodness. Hits the knight. He's got to guard the knight. He can't give me the knight too. There's no way. That's very funny though that he makes this sacrifice, and I didn't think he would make this sacrifice because all my pieces are on the queen side. I've closed down the center to stop him from getting over to the king side. All my pieces are on the queen side. I'm more than equipped to handle a couple passed pawns. Oh, I almost pre-moved there. That would have been unfortunate. I know it's 3 passed pawns, but I think I can handle this. I think what I do need to do is be careful about trades, though. If I trade too many pieces, those pawns are going to get really powerful, which is... Yeah, this could still be difficult. My saving grace is that he has 4 minutes left. But I think I've played very, very well up to this point, whereas in the other game I knew I was playing like ass. In the last game, that is, the round 3 game. Goodness. Goodness, was that a game. I don't really know what he does here. I think queen d3. I think even though he's down a pawn, or a piece, I think he wants to get the queens off the board. But queen d3 hangs the pawn. So I don't know. This is such a strange position. I might just take that queen and play bishop a6. I think that's a really good idea. That looks like a really strong move. This pawn doesn't concern me. I should not be concerned about that pawn. Now this pawn is hanging too, though. So queen takes, pawn takes, bishop a6. I don't care about any rook trades. After bishop a6, I think he's got to move the knight. There's no way to guard it. He goes knight c3. Bishop takes d3. And then I don't pick that up too. But then I even have c4 for my knight. I'm going to take that. I think this is very strong. And we'll just pre-move that. I don't think he should take that rook. Excuse me. I don't think he should take that rook. But I'm not sure. I could go either way on it. I think his sacrifice was losing, but it's not so trivial. It makes me want to do things that I wouldn't normally want to do when I'm up a piece. I wanted to trade queens. Now I want to trade pawns. And that's usually what you want to do when you're... Wait. Well, he made me trade queens when I didn't want to. Sorry, I misspoke. Oh, what just happened? Did I pre-move something? Oh, okay, I pre-moved that. I pre-moved the capture. Okay. Is his rook not just trapped? Or, knight? Do I not just go there? He goes here, I guess. I think so. That looks like the only move to me, or the best move by far. It gets rid of one of his pawns there. So yeah, let's go here. But yeah, he made me trade queens when normally I would have wanted to because I'm up the piece, but I didn't want to trade queens. Because it makes he had 3 passed pawns on 3 connected passed pawns on the queen side, so those would have gotten very powerful. And now, even though I'm up the piece, I want to trade pawns, and I shouldn't typically want to do that. So if I go bishop back, knight c6, takes, and my rook's on the open file. But after bishop takes c6, he can also go rook c1. And I don't even win the pawn. So we're going to take this and put pressure on the a-pawn at least. And I'm surprised at that move. I thought he would take the open file. Okay, yeah, this is not trivial whatsoever. Let's go for this. Okay. So his passers are gone, and I'm still up the piece. But, again, not so trivial. Not trivial at all because of moves like this. I think knight d7 is fine. I'll probably do that move. Yeah, let's go knight here. And I need Luft desperately for my king. I need space. I need to get out of this. Probably f6 is my Luft, I believe. But this is a gem. I mean, this is a really nice move to be able to have. I'm very fortunate for this because I didn't look at that move. I didn't need to look that far ahead. And I had other moves. I mean, rook a6 that's a move. I don't know if it's a good one, but it's a move. So I had rook a6, I had bishop d8. You know, I had all different kinds of ways to guard that knight and defend the back rank. But knight d7 is a gem. It hits the bishop, it stops the rook check, it allows me to take here, which I wanted to do anyway, and guard the knight. It's just a very, very, very convenient move for me. And now, yeah, I think here he's kind of seen the writing on the wall, and this is just a free piece. Oh no, it's not. This is here. Shit. Well, I don't think I had anything else. No, I don't think I had anything else. Okay, so we'll go here, hit the rook, take this next. And now we're good. We are golden here. Now we can just cruise to an endgame victory, especially after we get rid of this pawn. We don't have to worry about back ranks. Very, very happy now with this position. I think I'll take... I guess. I'll take with the rook so I can do this. I don't know. Okay. Okay, so how do I get to that f pawn? Yeah, that would have been the way to do it. Okay, let's throw in a check. I want the king here so I can do stuff like this. Totally arbitrary. Yeah, let's go for that. Just put a little pressure, and then I need to get my king in the game. But yeah, I mean, he attacked me. I didn't want to have to waste time to defend, so we'll throw in a couple tempo moves. We'll throw in a check. We'll throw in a threat, and then now we'll get my king into the game. And then what to do about e5? How do I deal with e5? I'm going to choose to not deal with it, and I think just play f6. How do I deal with e5 after king e7? It's not even a knight move I can make there. That's unfortunate. Oh, that's really stupid. Okay, let's go f6. I didn't want to have to make that move, but yeah, here we are. Okay. Knight c5, rook b4. Yeah, why not? Looks reasonable enough. He can check and play f3 if he wants to, I guess. Yeah, I thought he would do that. Alright, let's get this king in the game. This needs to be done. Okay. We're gonna stop that. I want that square. I want that square for a rook, or I want it for a knight. And it looks like it's gonna be for a knight. I have rook check though. But then king e2. So that square is gonna be for a knight. And he's got him. Yeah, I was gonna say he's got to do something here with that fork looming. Okay. And I think this is the most annoying move. And I want to induce something like that, but he's not going to give it to me. So I'm going to take it, I think. Really hard to defend your pawns when you're down a piece. That's really all I'm looking to exploit. It is a bit tricky. I mean, it's not the easiest endgame to be up a piece because all the pawns are on one side of the board. So you do have to just purely win against your opponent. You're not really playing for like a passed pawn or something that you've got from like just left over from the middle game. So I think this was the right way to go. And yeah, now we can go here, and I even have an escape square, should I need it. And we'll just, after this pawn falls, we're up a piece and a pawn. We'll just very slowly look to pick these apart. I can't go there. That would be a very unfortunate blunder. So we're going to go here. And now he probably, yeah, that's what I was thinking he would play. So we'll throw in a rook check, pick up this pawn too. Yep, take with the rook. I have an out too, so I don't have to worry about anything. So all in all, it's looking like a pretty clear win here. Okay. Let's just get my piece to a square that's always going to be guarded, and now we'll pick up this pawn too. Really hard for him down on time like this. It's just hard to find anything. I definitely know what that feeling's like. Yeah, and now we'll just... And I can even... Well, I don't even really have to worry about that square because I take the pawn, so... Where do I want my knight? Yeah, we'll come back here and just scoop the pawn. Thought he might do that. That'll really do it. So a solid endgame. I'm in a solid game in general. I'm reasonably happy with how that went. Let's see what the computer thinks. The moment of truth. Yeah, b3. Definitely don't play b3 if you're going to play d4. You're opening both doors for the bishop. It only needs one door. It's just a waste. It can only control one diagonal. Unless you keep it on c1, which is not to be advised. And yeah, here, I knew d5 was the best move, but this is more of a style choice at this point. Yeah, knight f6. So everything looks like it makes sense. And yeah, here it's saying d5, probably perfectly fine, but... I mean, what's the need? What's the need to play d5 this early when they can't stop me from playing d5? Okay. Yeah, it says b5 is pretty good there too, but starting to like queen c7. Yeah, a3. I didn't think a3 was necessary. I think just guard this with something else if you're so worried about it. Yeah, bishop d3 makes sense. You're going to have to play bishop d3 anyway, so I think just guard it with something else. Bishop d3, queen e2 is how you guard it. Boom, boom. Throw a rook here too if you really want to. And that pawn is going to be adequately guarded. a3 is kind of a waste. So yeah, he just has to play bishop d3 anyway. And then he moves his queen anyway. So, I mean, come on. Uh, oh yeah, and knight d7 could have been played there. That's important. I think I missed that, but also rook ac8 is just makes sense too. Um, oh no, knight d7. Well, okay, so knight d7 here is fine because of f6. I think. What does it say? What's the line? Knight d7, queen g3. So I wonder if that's because f5 is really good. Let's just do a dummy move. Not that that move's bad. It is so okay. So it did recognize that f5 was very good. But rook ac8, and now yeah, you have to play knight d7 here. If you're not playing knight d7 or knight e8, what are you doing? That square just opens right up. So yeah, people do this against the hedgehog. It's a tough opening to deal with. So they flinch and they do unnecessary moves like this. They give me squares, and then what we saw. I mean, we called it in the opening that he was going to get impatient and make a stupid sacrifice, and there he goes. It's only on move 18 too, so you don't usually have to wait very long. The hedgehog is a very strong opening to play, at at nearly any level. Yeah, so I can play just about every queen move except hanging the queen and queen to c6. So it does say queen b8 with the bishop a6 idea. I thought it looked good, but man, it just didn't. It was one of those moves that just didn't feel good. Queen c4 is a strong square for my queens. I couldn't pass that up. And I saw bishop takes e4. So oh my goodness, that's a jump. So that's a blunder. Why is that such a large blunder? Maybe it's because his pawns are just totally stuck. But I thought, oh, I take with the knight. I didn't. That's stupid. I saw this in one line and I didn't see it in this line. But if I take with the knight, I guard this pawn and everything's stuck. Everything's frozen. The c pawn can't move. This pawn is a liability because it makes this pawn not be able to move. Yeah. Yeah, this is a seriously good position, and he has to play bishop a1. That's a very good position. After rook a8, I don't know how you defend that. Wow. Okay, so that was missed. Had I seen this, oh my goodness, and bishop g5 too. Wow. Yeah, black's having all the fun there. So we missed that. Yeah, if I had $1 for every time I traded queens when I didn't need to, my goodness. I wouldn't need my stimulus check that I haven't gotten yet. And the bishop a6 anyway. And I didn't think the rook trade was good. Rook c7, yeah, this all makes sense. Yeah, knight d7's fortunate, and like I said, I also have rook a6 and bishop d8, so, I mean, I think my... even here where I missed that is still a good move. So I think everything was pretty accurate, except for the queen trade. That was an unfortunate blunder, and I don't think that's all just a formality. So yeah, this is about what I expected. It did feel like a seriously strong game. Everything felt very clear. Where's my inaccuracy? Oh, rook ac8. Because rook a d8 was best? Okay. I don't know. That's an inaccuracy? I guess I went to 0.3. Wow. Computer's awfully picky today. Okay. Cool. Yeah, I think that went really well. The opening choice and everything else. So, all right. We will cross our fingers for a lot of upsets in the... in the 4th round, in this round, and then hopefully get a good pairing for the 5th round, and we'll see what happens. So thank you all for watching, and I'll see you later. Bye.